Hi, Marquel,
Hey, what's up? I'm Trevor,
and
and
this
this is the
the
Huddle.
huddle. Yeah, man, Trevor. This is our third week on it, man. Things are
Mhm.
getting crazy out here. Things are starting to ramp up. Teams are
Yeah,
getting going. Injuries are happening. We finally get a whole weekend of preseason games, man. I can't wait.
yeah. No, you can definitely feel that football season starting to come.
Yeah,
I just heard on the news today, high school football about to get in the swing of things. So, yeah, that football season definitely coming in.
yeah, man. I can't wait. But let's go ahead and get it started like we usually do with our predictions, man. So
All right.
I want to start with the NFC. We're gonna do the West divisions this time. So let's start with the NFC West, which is gonna
Mm-hmm.
be super tough.
Mm-hmm.
I'll run mine off first if you want me to.
Yeah, you got it.
So of course, this, like I just mentioned, this division is gonna be like super close. The top three teams, it could really go to any of them. All of them performed well last year, and two of them really made a dent in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to go with the defending champions to win the division. I have to go with the Rams. They haven't seen a lot of drop off. They pretty much have the same team. You know what I mean? And I just can't see them taking too many steps back as long as Matthew Stafford's healthy. He did have the elbow
Shoulder and
yeah,
or elbow.
elbow
Yeah,
injury
your
going on
elbow.
right now. But if he's able to play a full season, full healthy season, I think they'll be able to win the division again. And
Mm-hmm.
in second place, I'm probably gonna go with the Cardinals just because Kyler Murray and his escapability. He has more experience than Trey Lance. And I would definitely say he has definitely a better receiving core than Trey Lance. So I kind of got
Yeah.
to go with the Cardinals to come in second place. 49ers is going to be a close third. It could be a tie for second and third, but I just said the 49ers have a step below the Cardinals just off of the quarterback experience. Trey Lance doesn't have much experience. He doesn't have any experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that will bite him in the foot a little bit. And of course, they have a really good defense. Shout out to our boy Emmanuel Mosley, best quarter of the game. But
Emmanuel.
just offensively, I don't see them comparing to the firepower that the Rams and Cardinals have. Of course, they do have Debo, which we'll get to that a little later. But and of course we have in the rear the Seahawks, man. Yeah, they're not doing anything this year. They
Yeah,
traded Russell Wilson. They don't really have a reliable quarterback. So what do you think about those, Trevor?
I definitely agree with you on number one. I mean, defending Super Bowl champs, they won the division last year, correct?
Yep,
Yeah,
I think
yep,
so. Yeah.
yep. So I mean, that's Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Cup coming back. A lot of people are coming back. Don't know about Odell, Von Miller left, but those were kind of icing on the cake. Even though they're great players
Hmm.
and they definitely contributed a lot, that was still like icing on the cake. So we definitely agree there. Honestly, I also agree with you. It's going to be tight for two and three, but I I just don't have a whole bunch of faith in the Cardinals down the stretch in seasons.
You have
And
more faith than them than the 49ers, Trevor?
I think the 49ers, like you said, defensively, they come through. And then offensively with Kyle Shanahan, and I get it. Like Trey Lance is a rookie quarter, or basically it's his rookie year, right? It is his full time.
It
He's
is
about to
his rookie
start.
year. He didn't play it
Yeah.
all last year. He played like a game.
Yeah. But I mean, he's still a second year player, but in terms of playing time, he's still going to be, it's still his first time playing, like you
Who's he
said.
gonna
But
throw it to?
I mean, they still have Debo, they still have Kittle. I get it. Like Arizona offensively, you're right, but I think that San Francisco will find a way. I mean, they did make it to the NFC Championship game last year, and I get that it was Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think that Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance can work together, and it might be some growing
You
pains. They
don't think
might
it
be
was a
going through
little
some
bit of
stuff.
luck on how they got to the NFC Championship though? The block punt and the Cowboys
I
not
mean, it's
showing up, man.
football, man. Like in all sports, there's a little luck to everything. So I'm gonna go with them because again the Cardinals they fly high really fast out the gate. Like they be looking like the best team in
But
football, and
last year they
then
had a
toward
lot
the
of
end,
they lost their whole receiving core. Everybody got hurt.
you're right. You're right. DeAndre Hopkins got hurt. But I mean, I don't know. Ever since they went to the Super Bowl that one year, I
And they
just
have Hollywood Brown now.
they do have Hollywood Brown, but I don't know. I still gotta. I don't know. I still gotta see it to believe it because I just don't have that much faith in them coming through towards the end. So and I'm not saying that the 49ers are going to be clear cut like better than them. I'm just saying if it comes down to the wire towards the end, I'll put my money on the 49ers. That's just how I see it. But then the Cardinals and of course, like we said, the Seahawks at the tail end. So that's how I'm gonna put it.
All right. Let's go over to the AFC. We had our little argument on that one already. I still think the Cardinals are gonna. Of course it's gonna be close, but I think the Cardinals are gonna come in second. They came in second last year,
Yeah, I believe so.
and the 49ers barely snuck in the playoffs. So that's all I'll say. I'll just say if we're going off the season, of course in the playoffs the Cardinals might implode. I mean, uh, but I think they're still gonna finish second in the division. But hey,
Okay,
let's
we'll
go to
see.
the AFC West. Look, that's an even tougher division. Like anybody in that division could
Oh
win,
yeah.
and anybody could cover last place. So what do you think of that
Honestly,
one, Trevor?
honestly, bro, I would love to see it. It's never happened before, but all four teams could, like, they have a legit
I don't
chance to
think
make it. I don't think it'll
I
happen.
don't think numbers wise all four could get in, but I think three will because I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
because
Three will
somebody
for
has to come in last, so they got to
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know what
that's
I
the
mean?
thing. That's the thing, though. Like, I'm just saying from a competitive standpoint, from all the teams in the AFC, like all those teams could, like, talent wise and all that stuff could make it. But I'm gonna go with the Chargers at one. I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs at two, Vegas, Las Vegas at three, very close between those two, and then the Broncos at four. That's what I'm
All
going with.
right, I'm the complete opposite of you. I got the Raiders first, Chiefs second. I think we both had Chiefs second, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Broncos and then Chargers. And, like, if you're
Broncos
talking
and
about a team,
Chargers.
if you're talking about a team imploding, it's the Chargers. It happens every year, bro.
Fair enough.
Like they really had a great team last year, and they did nothing with it. You know what I mean? They didn't even make the playoffs.
Fair enough, but their defense was not that great, and I think that they shored up some stuff there with Khalil Mack and adding some depth at the defensive back, and then I'm really looking for Derwin James to like he's been great his whole career. He's just been injured, so I'm looking for a full healthy season with Derwin James, and I'm really rooting for him, but. Um, if we're talking about the regular season, I'm looking for the Chargers to make a jump.
Did you
I
have the
really think
Raiders
it's
in
true.
last?
No, they're in
Yeah.
third.
Who'd you have last?
The Broncos.
Okay, yeah, it's I still have it between the I still have the Raiders number one just based off of last season, and
Mm-hmm.
they added DeAndre Hopkins. I think they can only go up because Derek Carr. I
He's a
hate to say
leader.
it, but he's been playing great. Like
Nah,
he
you're
really
right.
led that he really led that team to the playoffs last year, and they should have beat they
The
had a chance to beat
Bengals.
the Bengals. They had a
Yeah,
chance to beat the Bengals. I forgot about that game when I was talking. I don't remember who I was talking to about the Bengals making the Super Bowl last year, but all of their games were mistake. All the ones they won were mistakes at the end by the other team's quarterback, kind
the
of. Except
Titans.
Titans
They play. Who do they play for? They played the Raiders, then the Titans,
and
then
then
the
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
turnovers.
I mean, look, man, that division, we
That's
honestly
a tough
probably
one.
could stack it anyway, and that's
Yeah.
like it's a good chance. So, I mean, the Raiders being the one, I can't not say that that's definitely not going to happen because I think that that could happen. Like you said, Derek
hmm
Carr, and honestly, Derek Carr really carried that team like
He literally carried
leadership
them.
wise and on the field.
Even with all
They
the
had that.
adversity they faced.
Yeah, and I really like their tight end too. I can't remember his name right now.
Waller.
Yeah, Waller, but that he's a dog.
Yeah, I had him
And
on fantasy.
yeah, yeah. So you know
Yeah,
good
I
and
know
well.
oh so well.
Yeah, so he is a beast, and him, Derek Carr, and now you're adding Devontae Adams. Do they still have Deshaun Jackson,
He's free agent right now.
free agent? Okay, so I mean, I see where you're coming from, man, but
That
I think the
DeAndre
constant.
Hopkins, I think the DeAndre Hopkins by itself is just going to make it a lot more dangerous because now he has a real threat. I mean, not DeAndre
Hmm.
Hopkins, Devontae Adams. What are we
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah, yeah, Devontae Adams, but nah, man, I can't argue with you too much there. I think our constant is the Chiefs in second. I feel like the Chiefs may start off a little slower than what we're accustomed to. Or
I don't
well,
think they'll
I don't
start
think
off
it's
as
gonna
slow
be
as
like
last year.
last year,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's gonna be a different brand. I think it's not gonna be super
Maybe
explosive.
like a 4-4 start.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna look a lot different. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, so
Yeah,
it's gonna make it
and
work.
Andy Reid, and
Hmm.
I actually like their receiving core. I know people don't like it as much as having Tyreek Hill because he's
Hmm.
just that good, but I actually like
Yeah,
it. They
yeah,
still have
Juju. I still don't know how I feel about Juju, but
yeah,
he's
like I'm
he's
individually,
talented, but
I understand what you mean.
he's
Because
talented, but he's I would say he's like distracted kind of. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like he's not football isn't always his focus, and he gets injured.
I
So
understand that. I definitely understand that, but I think like you said, in talent wise, he's really good. But if you look at individually, I feel like he'll fit better in this system because he has
and he had
Travis
Ben,
Kelsey,
yeah, and he
yeah,
had Ben
and
Roethlisberger throwing the ball. Don't forget that. So
yeah,
that
so
messed up his numbers.
yeah, so I mean, being in the end of his career, great player, just just
Hmm.
not, as good as he was. Um, but I think McCole Hardman can do some similar stuff to Tariq. Not that he's gonna do the same stuff, but I feel like as a deep threat, he'll be he'll make up for some of the stuff that they're missing with Tyreek. But
Yeah.
I think Juju, this might be his best
Fit.
chance in terms of the system. I mean, Andy Reid's gonna figure out Eric Bieniemy calling the plays. He's gonna figure it out too. So
Yeah, that makes sense, Trevor. So we talked about a quarterback who started his second year and really took the league by storm. So out of all the second year quarterbacks that we have right now, who do you think is going to take the biggest jump this year?
I have my eye on Trevor Lawrence. I really like Doug Peterson being there in Jacksonville, and from reports that I've seen, Trevor Lawrence really likes his presence there in the Jacksonville organization. He said he really likes the consistency that Doug Peterson brings. So I feel like yeah, so that's kind of a shot at you know who, but
Yeah, Urban Meyer.
um I'm gonna look for Trevor Lawrence because he is very talented, and even though things weren't that great last year, you could see how good he was still, and he
Hmm.
was still able to make some things happen.
Yeah,
So
his
I'm gonna
talent
go with
shot
Trevor
through.
Lawrence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I have to go with Zach Wilson. So not just because of his off-season antics, man. Yeah, I mean, Mr. Steel Girl and whatnot, but
uh,
he actually has a lot of weapons coming in that he didn't
mhm.
have last time. The Jets did a pretty good job of giving him a little arsenal to play with. You know what I mean? So I think as long as he takes care of the ball, he'll have a pretty good season. And I like how dynamic he is with running as well. Uh, I don't think Trevor Lawrence has that aspect as much as he does. So his escapability and stuff like that kind of reminds me of like Russell Wilson. So
I can see that. I can
that's
see
why
that.
that's why I would go with him. Yeah.
No, I can definitely see that. Zach is another very talented player,
Hmm.
and last year was his rookie season, so getting used to some things, and then
Hmm.
for the Jets' sake and the Jet fans' sake, I'm pretty sure that they really hope he is,
They're really
you
hoping he has a
know,
great season,
yeah, he
right?
has a great. He's gonna make that jump. Yeah, yeah. So I definitely see that. Zach can do some things, especially like you said with the talent they got him.
Hmm. Yes, sir. All right, now we talked about who's gonna make the biggest jump this year. So who do you think is gonna have the best season? Who do you think will win the MVP this year, Trevor? Who's your biggest MVP candidate?
MVP. That is a good question. Everybody likes to talk about the quarterbacks, right? And
Yeah.
I'm gonna give somebody that I think has a legit chance from that quarterback group because that's usually who wins it. But I'm gonna take the time to shout out some players that are in a different position
Yeah.
that I think should get some consideration for it, or some strong consideration to actually win it.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna say Aaron Donald. I
Okay.
think
If
the
we're doing that,
man.
if we're doing that, Trevor, you'll give one of those and then
Mhm.
a quarterback, and then I'll give one of those and a quarterback.
Okay, got you, got you.
So
I think
that's a
Aaron
good idea.
Donald. I mean, the guy has. I mean, he's been dominant for so long, and I think
He's super
he's had.
impactful in the Super Bowl too.
Yes, yes, and I would say he's as impactful as the quarterback position in his own position, if that makes sense. He impacts the game so much, and if the quarterback is the most important position, then his impact, like uh breaking the blocks, or that's not how you say it, but getting past the line, the
Hmm.
offensive line, putting pressure on the quarterback, making them rush throws, getting sacks, strip fumbles, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the man
The
is
ultimate
a
disruptor.
beast. Yes, the ultimate disruptor. And like I said, if the quarterback is the most important player on the team,
Hmm.
then the guy that is universally known, yeah,
Yeah.
universally known as the man that puts pressure on them consistently, is so dominant at his position and so great at getting to the quarterback. I think that deserves some consideration.
All right. So for my candidate that's not a quarterback, I want to do a co MVP situation here.
Okay.
So last year, Dallas forced the most turnovers in their history in the NFL. You know what I mean? And the two of the biggest pieces that were responsible for that were Trayvon Diggs and Micah
Micah
Parsons.
Parsons, yeah.
So if they can have anything close to the year that they had last year, which I'm pretty sure they will exceed, because Michael Parsons was a rookie and Trayvon Diggs was a second year guy. I think they can only get better.
Hmm.
If they have a year like that and they can impact the game the way they did last year, um, I it's hard to say that they couldn't be co MVPs because like their stats were like record breaking, and if they
Yeah.
get better, you know what I mean. You
Trayvon was
hard to
in
say they
the
don't.
MVP, or kind of in
Yeah,
the MVP discussion last year, right?
yeah.
So I
Michael
really like
Parsons,
Trayvon
rookie of the
Diggs and
year.
Micah Parsons. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think those two together, they would have to be co-MVPs, especially with the extra tools that Dan Quinn just got in his arsenal. They just got Anthony Barr
Hmm.
filling out that linebacker group. It's just so many things he could do. They drafted a pass rusher to replace Randy Gregory that's mobile. You can put him outside, inside linebacker. So you can move Demarcus Lawrence from the outside to the inside, let Micah Parsons pass rush. Hey, it's so many things that Dan Quinn can
Micah
do with that
Parsons,
defense.
Micah Parsons is so versatile,
He's a
man. Like,
Swiss,
he can do
but the
anything.
but the thing about it is Dan Quinn is finding ways to make their other impact players versatile too. Of course, Trayvon Diggs is gonna play corner.
Hmm.
But like you have um the rookie they drafted that can play multiple positions. They started putting Demarcus Lawrence more inside and letting Michael Parsons rush from the outside, kind of in like a 3-4 set. Uh, Anthony Barr and Leighton Vander Esch on that back line, you can play really big and put Michael Parsons up front. So it's just like it's crazy. Like even if they don't do the COVID MVP, the Swiss Army knife that Michael Parsons is, he could win MVP because he could do so much stuff. He could even punt return. Of course, they won't put it
if he
out there for
wanted
that, but
to.
you know what I mean. He's like one of the
Yeah, no, I
fastest guys
feel.
in the NFL. But
Mhm.
yeah, so
No,
that's what I
I
would say
like
for
that.
my MVP. Yeah,
I
that's
like that. I like both of those players. Like Trayvon Diggs, he was probably one of my favorite players last year, just
yeah.
because
His
his
son
style
helped
of
with that
play.
too, huh?
Yeah, his son. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'll do one more. I like Jonathan Taylor. I'm not sure if he'll have the same season as he did last year because usually running backs when they have that breakout season, the next season is a little different because defenses load up the box and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But if he were to have a similar season or close to it, I feel like we should have him in there because last year he carried the Colts team a lot.
yeah.
So I wish he could have gotten a little more consideration last year,
I can see that
yeah.
one. I can see
Mm-hmm.
that one. So, which one do you think is actually gonna win? Like when they do the voting,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't pay attention to the defensive players or the running backs very much. They want a quarterback for MVP. So, if you had to pick a quarterback, who do you think? Basically, this is asking which quarterback in the league do you think is gonna have the best year?
Quarterback, I think I'm gonna go with Justin Herbert. I know that is the popular choice right now. A lot of people are really high on him right now, but
Mm-hmm.
I think he backs it up. I mean, the guy is really talented. Um, has another year under his belt with Keenan Allen and Williams, right? I believe that's the other receiver over there.
Mm-hmm.
And having another year in that offense. I I, I like his chances. So I'm gonna go with Justin Herbert, even though it is the or a very popular decision in a
I,
lot of
I
people's.
don't even think I would say Justin Herbert is a popular decision because of the division he's in and stuff like that. If I had to
Fair
pick
enough.
somebody out of that division to win MVP is Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
After the season he had last year, I think he's only going to build on it. But I, if I don't go with Derek Carr, I have to go Dak Prescott, man. With that first, I'm telling you, the first half of the season that he had last year, if he could keep that up for a full season, it's gonna be ridiculous. He broke Cowboys
that's
catch and touchdown records and all that,
that's
and we didn't have
something
a kicker.
that's something that's always baffled me, Marco. He sets a
Mm-hmm.
lot of records, especially in the beginning of the season,
Mm-hmm.
but along somewhere along the way, it just I don't know. It just
I think
doesn't
last year, I think last year was the
extend.
he got injured,
Yeah. He
and he was
got
coming off
injured.
an injury, but
Even the year he hurt his ankle, like he was setting crazy records.
something
Like
bad happened. And
he led the whole NFL like 2 or 3 weeks after he got injured
yeah, in
in
passing
passing
yards.
yards. Like
Yeah,
what the heck? I don't know.
yeah. I think this year,
That's pretty crazy.
this the year that Dallas the offense will finally be able to get it consistent. Because
Mhm.
last year they were the highest scoring offense in the NFL and they couldn't even make a field goal. So imagine if you can
Mhm.
find a kicker that can be that consistent with the offense that's consistent and a defense that's as good as they were last year or better.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But and since you gave a second quarterback, I think Josh Allen also has a really good chance too. Uh, I mean,
Yeah.
he's really
I can see
talented,
that one.
and I
I
feel
can
like
see
they're
that
going
one.
to put the ball in his hands more this year. Last year
I
they
don't
put.
even know how they could put it in his hands more. They never run it.
That's what I was saying. Like, well, yeah, you're right. I that's what I was about to refer to. Like last year, they
Yeah.
put the ball in his hands a lot. I feel like they're gonna. I guess I messed up how I said it, but I feel like they're
The
gonna
ball
keep
will
putting the
be in his
ball
hands.
in his
Yeah.
hands a lot. Yeah. But since you were talking about the Cowboys and
Hmm.
how good their offense is gonna be, um, they have some issues in terms of the depth on the receiver end. So
Yeah.
how do you feel especially as a Cowboys fan, how do you feel about that specific position in terms of the depth?
Well, when you look at the roster, you have the talent at receiver. Like, so you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Michael Gallup, you got Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Gallup and Washington are hurt. Washington got hurt at the beginning of last week, training camp, and he's be out 6 to 10 weeks. Gallup's gonna miss the first couple of games, but I don't think there is a need right now to add another receiver. I would wait until I could pick up somebody like Odell. Like we're having a good season, like a splash move like the Rams did last year. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
The younger guys, just watching in camp, they're having great days. Of course, CD's going to be our number one guy either way. We still have Noah Brown coming back. We drafted a receiver in Tolbert who seems to be building a nice little rapport with Dak Prescott, and Dak really seems to like Dennis Houston, who was I can't talk.
No, it's all good.
He
I
was an
can't talk today either.
undrafted free agent. So those are four receivers right there. Of course, you have to worry about depth if one of them gets hurt in the game or something like that. But and we also have Simi Fehoko, who was a rookie a few years ago or last year, and he so we have receivers. The worry is that they're not proven in game yet. I would say.
Okay,
It's a lot of young guys, but
so
they're
let's
doing pretty well in camp. So usually the defense is ahead of the offense, and you've seen the clips floating around on Twitter of Simi Fehoko like burning Trayvon Diggs, which is
mhm.
unfair in my opinion because if you're running a fly route in practice and there's no pass rush, of course you're gonna have all day and whatnot. But
Yeah, yeah, especially coming out of a back pedal.
yeah,
So, but I was actually gonna say so it's really not as bad as people are making it seem. Like it's not like they don't have any receivers there. It's just that the top guys, which everybody's looking at, are not
mhm.
healthy right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, that makes sense.
Specifically the
Hmm.
Gallup,
Yeah, because
because
he's
we don't
coming
know
off of
who.
what, ACL or something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't think they're so worried about his recovery. They're worried about not having anybody those games that he's not there. You know what I mean?
Fair
Who's
enough.
going to be number two? Who's
Fair
going to be
enough.
number
Fair
three?
enough.
There's
Yeah.
no. They don't. None of these guys are proven. They're young guys. You know what I mean?
Hmm. No, that's a fair assessment, and I would be concerned too. I mean, your top players in a specific position, no matter what position it is, like your
Mhm.
top two guy or two of your three top guys go down,
Yeah.
and now you're relying on younger guys that haven't had the experience and stuff. That can be scary for
And
anybody.
another thing is the free agents that are available are veterans. Like they have tons of NFL experience. They don't want to go to training camp anyway. So why
Hmm.
not go through training camp and see what you got with the young guys? If you don't like what you see, you can pick somebody up. You got a whole bye week before the first game, and
Hmm.
then it's not that serious. You know what I mean? There's receivers available. T.Y. Hill and Deshaun Jackson. There's people available if we end up
Hmm.
needing to pick up somebody with experience. You know what I mean?
So is Odell your top pick though? If you had to pick
Yeah,
out of
I think
everybody, Odell,
I think Odell is everybody's top pick right now, but
I think so too. Yeah, I
but
would.
he's not ready to play right now, so
Hmm.
it'd be pointless signing him too and having three. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, like you said, he's still recovering from his injury as well. So if you didn't get Odell,
Mhm.
what are the next three players that you think would fit that Dallas offense?
I will only have two off the top of my head.
Two.
T.Y. Hilton and Deshaun Jackson were the next two I would look at.
Hmm.
And I would definitely go T.Y. Hilton first because he's more of an Amari Cooper. He's a route runner.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Second,
I feel you.
I would put Deshaun Jackson because he's a deep threat.
I like that. I like that.
Let's hit one more topic, Trevor.
All right, yeah, let's get it.
Let's talk about. We don't want to talk about this suspension because everybody's been talking about that. Let's talk about how the Browns are going to perform while Deshaun Watson's out.
Okay.
How do you think? Let's just go off of like the suspension that they have right now, the 6 games. How do you think those first 6 games go without him? What do you think their record is?
I think what is their schedule? Let me look at their schedule first, and then I'll give you their record. But I think this is how it's going to go. I think, oh, well, I just pulled it up. So they're beating the Panthers, they're beating the Jets. I think that they'll beat the Steelers. They're beating the Falcons. I feel like they could lose to they'll lose to the Chargers. Patriots. I say they beat the Patriots.
I said so they'll end up 4-2 or 3-3, basically.
Yeah, something like that. They might. I mean, honestly, from the strength of it, like they do, like the
They
Browns
could
and the
go 6 and
Steelers.
0.
Yeah, yeah, like I would say more 5-1 because they do have
Okay.
that Chargers there,
Yeah,
and the
I'd be more
Steelers
scared. I'd be more
four and
scared
two.
about the Steelers game more
Steelers,
than the
yeah,
Chargers or the Patriots. The Steelers
yeah,
know them well.
yeah, and they always play really tough. Like no
It's gonna
matter
be
the
tough.
roster,
It's
it's
gonna be like
always
12 to
yeah,
9 or something. Yeah.
yeah. So if they stick with the 6 games, then I think it'll be like 4-2 or 5-1. That's what I think.
Okay.
Now it could go either way, but now play style, I feel
Hmm.
like it's going to look a little different because Deshaun Watson is such an explosive player. He can make a play out of nothing.
Hmm.
Um, I, I, I mean, that's just how good he is. But I feel like it's going to be a little bit different of a place. I feel like they'll lean a little bit on the run game.
I think they're gonna lean a lot
And
on it.
yeah, yep. And
I think it's gonna look like those old Cowboys teams, like when Zeke first came in the league, when they was just running at the 8-man box and just forced their way down the field. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
they had a line and the running backs to do it. So
and it's not like Jacoby Brissett can't throw the ball because I think
mm-hmm.
he's a very good passer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Takes good care of the ball.
yeah, and I think he falls more on the side of not to all the way to Teddy Bridgewater, but
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of leaning towards that side of like he's safe with he takes care of the ball, but he's a little too safe with the
Yeah,
ball,
he
if
doesn't
that
take
makes sense.
chances.
He
Yeah, but
doesn't
that's
take
what you. That's kind of what you want from your backup quarterback, though.
yeah, exactly. So I feel like they're going to lean into that and like you said, rely on the run game and it's not going to be like really explosive, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they can still win some games, especially with the schedule they got.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, Trevor. Well, guys, we can't wait until Thursday to watch the first preseason game. I don't count the Hall of Fame game. It's the first preseason game, even though I watched it.
Yeah, that none of the players played, so I
Yeah,
mean, but that's to be
none of them
expected.
are gonna play that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's to be. I'm just like,
you see a
of
lot of
course,
rookies
I'm
though.
glad football is on. I'm glad we got something to watch, but I can't wait till that first
So
week,
September
dog.
8th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's when you're
man.
going. It's gonna be get real for real.
Yeah, man. But we want to thank all of y'all for tuning into this episode of the Huddle, man. As always, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, that subscribe button, follow us on Instagram. And we can't wait to see you next week, man. Peace.
Peace.